Turumbático. Te lo dije. A ti nada más.
Yes, woo! Yay! Wow, well done, well done. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the final show of BredaPhoto 2020, and that in Corona times. Normally we would have like 1,000 people here celebrating the end of a beautiful, another successful festival, but because of Corona, we could only choose 30 people, so we chose the people who can give the loudest applauses and laugh the loudest, right? One more time and an applause, people, yes. How great, how great. Okay. So in this final show, we're going to look back to an amazing festival, show you the pictures, everything that you've maybe missed, but also we're going to go on a tour around the world. So we're going to talk to artists everywhere in the world that normally would fly over, be here, meet the people of Breda, but now they are at home in front of their cameras, and through Zoom we're going to talk to them, see their work. We have live musicians, and we're going to announce a lot of young talents. Some of them win prizes, some of them don't. Okay, so let's first have a little bit of a look back at the festival. We sat together with the team and we decided you can summarize the festival in 6 words, so in 6 images. The first word is miracle. Why? Because it's a miracle that we actually have the festival, This picture is from 2 weeks before we knew that maybe there was going to be a no on the festival. So everybody was still working hard, hoping that we could open, and we could, and how, right? The second word is people. We were also a little bit afraid that people might not come, because we could have a lot of people, not that much, but a lot, and we were a little bit afraid that maybe like 1 or 2 people would come, but it was sold out. So all the time, that's the great thing with Brabant, the province we are in now, and people don't care, They want to come, no, they care for the rules and regulations, but, they want to see art and they fight for it, so they came en masse, which is great, right? The next word is commotion. Every good art festival has a little bit of commotion, and sure we had it, There was one work by Erik Kessels at the skateboard park. I will talk about that later, and it got a lot of commotion in good and good ways. And then 4, we had impact. We were hoping that our festival is not just about great photography and great images and aesthetics, but also about impact. And there were so many beautiful pictures that actually went viral on the internet. I want to show you one that you already see behind me. This is still touching when you look at it. It's by Joshua Irwandi, together with the Forhana Foundation. It's an Indonesian hospital where you see a patient that had corona being mummified before he goes off to the funeral. This image struck people. Every time when there's a big thing happening, a war or pandemic, you need this one image that touches everyone. This is it, and was at the BredaPhoto Festival. 5, I told you 6 words, we are at 5, online. We had to do so much online. The people of BredaPhoto never heard of a computer before this year, and now they are specialized in doing shows online. So this is actually a lot of the people here, volunteers, people that fought hard, had to change. First they were working and hanging photos, and then suddenly they had to know how to make online shows. So a big hand for all of you. You can give an applause to yourself because nobody else is here to do it for you. Yes. And then the final word we call is time, because it took a lot of time to organize. We took the time to give people actually the time to see everything online and offline. And I think in these times, the moment of pause to think about our time is of essence. And that is what great art does, and also what a great art festival does, and what we have done for the past 7 weeks. Okay. 6 words, 6 images. Now, let's do something in the now instead of looking back. Let's go on our world tour. And we will start with Nigeria. I will stand on my mark. And he's already smiling again. Andrew, I'm so glad that you're here, all the way from Nigeria. How are you doing? He's good, and he has to unmute himself. Andrew, it's a whole thing with unmuting yourself, and then you can... Yes. How are you, man?
Can you hear me?
Yes?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good. I'm glad that you're
Yeah.
here. Weren't you a little bit, a little bit sad that you couldn't come over and see Breda for the first time in your life?
Pardon, I didn't get you.
Okay, so we are in a city here that's called Breda. Have you ever been to Breda before in your life?
No, never. I've never been there.
You've never been here. Okay, and normally we would fly you over. Do you think it's sad that you're missing the wonders of Breda?
Yes, sir. I wish I was there physically to see the work and join other artists in celebrating the festival.
Yes, but at least we are happy that you're here now. Before we're going to talk about your work, Andrew, we have a treat for you. So what they've done is they took your work, they put it in a beautiful film, and then we invited one of the best musicians we could find to play live music under your images. And this is now Richard van Kruisdijk. He's going to play. Richard, he's already there. Richard is there. It's a young man. He looks a little bit shy, but he's amazing, and he's playing on. What are you playing on?
It's an omnichord.
An omnichord?
Omnichord is a kind of. It's actually a synthesizer from the 80s, and it's the way you play it is a bit like an accordion. So it has these buttons where you can play chords.
Okay.
But this is a special one because it's circuit bent. So it means that it's modified, that I can also manipulate, kind of sculpt the sounds with my fingertips through additional metal.
Okay. So you looked at the work of Andrew and you thought, I'm not going to bring a synthesizer, I have to bring my omnichord from the 80s.
Yeah, I had a lot of different setups in my studio when I was looking through the photos and trying different sounds, and I always work intuitively, and intuitively there was the thing that for me worked.
Let's hear it. Andrew, omnichord, especially for you. Let's see the clip.
Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Applause, Richard. Thank you. Thank you, Richard.
Richard.
Did you like it, Andrew?
Yeah, I like the way. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you very
if
much,
a woman
Richard.
would say like that, it's no, but okay, let's say yes. So, Andrew, can you
Okay,
please
I love it, Richard.
could you please tell us what we just saw? You took us from Togo to Paris. What is the journey that we saw?
I call it a circular economy. So it was a story where I followed a guy who is from Togo but living in Paris. He comes back home, buys second-hand clothes that comes from Europe, America. He curates them, selects them, and sends them back to Europe to sell as vintage for higher price.
So actually, we discard ourselves of our jeans, we throw them away, they end up in Togo, people repair them there, and then he takes it back and sells it like haute couture, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Is it to show how naive and stupid we Europeans are?
I mean, I can't say that, but for me, what I was interesting was the ingenuity in this guy, subverting your disadvantage to your advantage. Because originally, those clothes are being sent down to Africa as a way of supporting people, making people to afford clothes they couldn't buy. But this time, he's taking it back to Europe, instead of being a dumping ground for us here, he's now turning it around, taking it back and bringing value to it back to Europe for him as an African.
No, I really like that it's of course an African selling it back in Europe, because otherwise it would be just cheap labor, and now it's like a comment on the whole cycle of how we treat. Also, textile is the second biggest waste industry there is because it's thrown away. Is it also a point you want to make that we have to rethink the way we use our textile?
Yes. I mean, the project has layers. Apart from the economic aspect, it has a layer of ecology, like you just said. Instead of with dumping, you recycling it, and bringing value to it in style, because it's not just selling it like old clothes, but making it fashionable or very stylistic for people.
I like that. Andrew, when I looked you up, you've won more awards than an award show. You're flying high, man. What is the next project? You mean you're talking to the people of Breda and the world. So what is your next project about if people want to follow you?
I mean, for me, generally, I've always been interested in human condition, how people live in daily life. I mean, what happens in my environment. So currently, my project has been centered around the COVID-19, where I've been working on frontline health workers who have been on the front line, helping people to survive the COVID. That's what I've been working for the past, since it started actually, that's what I've been working on.
Wow. So then COVID hits, then you cannot travel, so you make work about COVID and people who are working in the front line. Thank you so much. That is what real artists do. They take the now and bring it to the future. We don't have that much time. I could talk with you for hours, but we can't. So Andrew, thank you so much for joining us. I wish you a wonderful career, which you already have. Time. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye, man. Bye-bye. Bezig. Okay. So, I promised you we're going to talk with artists all over the world. We're going to look a little bit back, but we're also going to introduce young talents because BredaPhoto has many different talent programs. One of them is their collaboration with Next Doc. It's a hub for young creative people, and then they can do animation or gaming or documentary or photography, and they get a trajectory. So they are guided, custom-made in, let's say, helping them make careers, like, for example, Andrew, which was not in Next Hub. So we have two artists that I want to call out. They are live here. Yes, I know, they are live here. And one of them is from BredaPhoto, the other one is from Next Hub. So please, Zoe and Luz, come on stage. Applause. Yeah. Come. And they take their time. This is live TV. It's okay. Come. Zoe, welcome. Zoe, you are, is it on? Yes, it's on. Zoe, you are a young photographer, as they say, a young talent, selected to be on BredaPhoto 2020.
Yes.
How was it when you heard that you could present your work here?
I didn't expect to, but it was great. It was a friend texted me saying, Zoe, you should check your mail because I think you got it. So.
Oh really?
Yeah.
You were like, I will never get it. Life sucks, and then suddenly you got it.
Yes,
great.
And my life is great now.
Yes, of course. We see you smiling. I mean, and let's look at your work. When I saw this in the preparation, I was like, okay, I have so many questions about this. First of all, dad or not dad?
Dad.
This is dad, right? You know, I looked at your picture.
Do we look alike?
Yes, no, because I saw your picture online. I was like, this could be her dad. So I'm going to ask bluntly, and it is, okay.
Yes.
And why is he sort of reusing the scatters of his flounder that he made 5 years ago? What is the picture about? Tell me.
So my whole project is kind of about not understanding, but still having this facade of understanding. So this guy is in Dutch we say a plank for your kop.
Okay, so you
It's
have
like a wooden plate in
a
front of
plate
your
in front
eyes.
of your head.
Yes.
So you're not looking beyond. You're just looking at the very short side.
Exactly.
Yes.
So it's kind of like he tied this around his head to just not see.
And is it also a personal picture? Is it also a statement to your father, or is it just he was the model?
He was the model. Corona just hit, and I was staying at my parents' place for a while, and I really wanted to take some pictures, and so I asked Dad.
I'm glad you didn't make a series called Pain, because that your dad had to, So is it a statement to people in general, the fact that they have a wooden plate in front of their head, that they don't look further? Or is it, why did you want to make the statement in these days?
It started with myself. I have this insecurity that I don't understand the world and everyone else does. But
Oh, really?
during this process, I understood that everyone kind of feels that way sometimes.
Absolutely, absolutely. Trust me, look at them. They're all super insecure. And with actually showing your insecurity, you got to BredaPhoto.
Yes.
So insecurity helps.
I know.
So stay
Good to
insecure.
understand, yeah.
No, okay. But super cool. Okay, thank you so much. What is next for you? Because now you're at BredaPhoto, so except for the sky is the limit, what is next?
A lot of things got cancelled, sadly. But with two other girls from our school, we started to live. We live in Zeeland now, in a remote place, and we are trying to get a cultural, how do you say
Hub.
it? Hub started. So we're
Really?
inviting other artists to come over and make work with us and do residencies and.
Wow,
yeah.
that's cool. All the way to Zeeland.
Yes.
And there's space there,
Yes,
and
we do have space.
Super cool, super cool. Okay, so this is an invitation for everybody who has no work in the cultural world. Come to Zeeland, because Zoe has space and her father doesn't know because he can't see. Right? So that's great. Okay, thank you so much, Zoe. Applause for
you.
Zoe. Loes. So, Zoe is from BredaPhoto. Loes Jansen. Loes, you are part of the Next Doc network. For the people don't know, what do they offer you? What do they give you, Next Doc network?
Well, Next is a talent program in which young artists, and in my case, documentary filmmakers, can develop themselves, but not only on one particular project, but looking at your whole professional career. Sometimes it's not only artistic skills you want to develop, but also business skills.
Yeah, how to make a budget, for example.
Yeah,
right?
or your method, your working method.
Very cool. And you are a documentary filmmaker, so you're busy making a film, which is actually almost ready, right? Can you say a little bit about that?
Yes. Shall I tell what it's about?
Yes, that's kind of the reason why I asked the question.
No, well, yeah, a couple of years ago, my father died suddenly, and after he passed away, my brother and we had to clean up his house. And of course, I never thought about it before because I was never faced to this situation. And the whole grieving process was something very, struggling, but also something that's very hard to give words to. And in the whole cleaning process of the house, I found all my father's stuff. There were stories in all of his stuff, and I could see him in his stuff, but we also had to clean it up, so we have to say goodbye again. And I thought, oh, that's such a beautiful thing to make a film about. And because of that, I found a family, 3 sisters, who had to clear out their mother's house and their childhood house. And
So the stuff of your father was already cleared out, and you got the idea there, and then you followed someone else. So you followed other people who had to do the same.
Yes, so my own experience was the starting point, yes. And I found these 3 sisters, and but I want to make it universal. So because the story is in the objects, I didn't want to show their faces. So in the whole film, you can only hear them, and you see the hands, and you see the stuff and the house, but you cannot see them.
Okay, so, and I heard, because that's a beautiful premise, right, to see that. We want to see something, of course. And then you told me 5 minutes before we got on, all these images have never been shown to no one ever, as a normal audience. So this is a world premiere of images from your film, yeah? Okay, so, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the world premiere of What Remains. Some images of it. Yes, let's check it.
Tja. Net. Ik praat nog wel tegen haar. Ja. Ik weet wel dat ze niks meer terug kan zeggen, helaas. Moedertje toch.
Is, jij kan toch wel zien of iets nog een beetje gebruikbaar is? Ja. Ik vind dat echt zonde.
Applaus voor Loes, dames en heren. Very shortly, Loes, first of all, immediately you feel how it touches immediately, because everybody understands what it is to clean up a house or room after someone dies, and the sort of, let's say, emotional layer plus the very practical layer of you have to remove the things immediately works. When can people see it?
The 6th of December, it will be shown on NPO 3.
Oh.
So
on national TV.
Yes.
There you go. The 6th of December.
Yes.
When Santa Claus just came, gave everybody presents, we're going to see a movie about everybody taking things away. Yep.
Yes, it is.
So it's called Irony. Irony. Okay, cool. But how cool is that on national TV?
Yeah. So this Wednesday we are finishing the editing. So this is really before the editing is even finished. And I hope there also will be some film festivals where the film can be shown, just like BredaPhoto. We can find a way to organize it.
Of course, I think normally about 70 different film festivals are watching a final show online of BredaPhoto. So if you're watching Film Festival, Loes Jansen is showing it the 6th of December on NPO 3 is that in Holland. You probably can't have it. Just email her. Okay, thank you so much, Loes. Yes. And Zoe, Loes en Zoe, dames en heren. Zoe Sluis and Loes Jansen. Okay. I told you we're going to look forward, but also we're going to look back. Now I want to address something that happened already in the beginning of the festival. I did the opening show as well, and I interviewed Erik Kessels, which is a photographer and an artist, and he was very proud. He was standing here next to me on the same stage, and he was announcing very proudly his project about where he had faces of all kinds of women that sort of used plastic surgery that went a little bit wrong, and then he mixed those faces into 60 algorithms, and those algorithms gave us 60 faces that didn't exist, right? Just a face of a random person. And he said, for me, it's important to show that we have to think about youth and death, and people want to stay alive forever, but that's impossible. That was his whole story. And now it was announced, it was at Pier 15, and then after a few days already, it got cancelled because of protest. So for those who've never seen the work, we're going to show a little clip that you understand what it's about, and then I'll tell you what the commotion was about. Yes. So, what you do, there you go, waste. What you just saw is, the idea was that we have the 60 pictures of women that don't exist, right? And the skateboarders will skate over them and it will disappear because everything in life disappears. That was the whole message of Erik. You can't control everything beyond death, right? Everything dissolves or absolves at a certain moment. But we got a lot of reactions. First of all, you had people who were against this piece of art because they said it's degrading to women, which nobody wants to do. You know, it was never the intention, but if it is, you know, that's why we got so much commotion. That's one hand. On the other hand, people were angry with the fact that the BredaPhoto and the Pier 15, the skate hall, removed the art piece because of the commotion, and people call it cancel culture. So the idea is that art should be free, no matter what it says, because it provokes commotion and dialogue, you know, and instead of taking it away, there should have been dialogue. So you have two sides. Those who say it's disregarding to women, remove it. Those who are saying it could be, maybe, let's have a dialogue, because removing makes art censored, and you cannot censor art because then you have cancel culture. I'm not pro or against any of those. I just want to address it and say that at the 20th of November, there will be this dialogue. It took some while because of agendas and something called COVID, but at the 20th of November, so also for the viewers and the people here, if you want to join, it will be an online discussion, and check the website for BredaPhoto 2020 to see where and how exactly. Yes, we will address, because art is dialogue, always and ever. Yes, now back to young talent. Whew. Okay, the GUP magazine, GUP, is a very famous Amsterdam-based but worldwide renowned magazine for contemporary art and documentary photography, and the editor-in-chief got all the way from Amsterdam to here. Ladies and gentlemen, Erik Vrons. Erik.
Yes.
Erik.
Hello.
Hey, man.
Yes.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
For the few people who don't know what GUP magazine is, and publishing, of course, tell in the camera, what is it?
Well, you already introduced it very well, but so GUP magazine is an acronym, stands for Guide to Unique Photography, and it started in 2005 in Amsterdam. Yeah, because there wasn't really a photo magazine. There were magazines with camera stuff, but not really to show
the images.
The images,
yes.
But at that time I wasn't really part of the magazine. I actually didn't even know about the magazine. I became involved in 2010.
Okay.
So this is my 10th anniversary, and it's the 15th anniversary of the magazine.
Congratulations with your 10th anniversary. Can't tell, still look young.
Yeah,
and we are here to introduce two young artists, right?
Yeah. So I think it's like around 2012, while we were continuing making the magazine. I can just quickly show, like, this is the magazine, so very like typical size magazine, and that continues. It's a quarterly magazine, and it's just 4 times a year,
online and offline.
Yeah, and but along the way we also really wanted to promote like talent, initially Dutch talent, and then we decided to make a free zine called New Dawn. It was free. Was
a free zine is a free magazine.
Free magazine
really?
Was sponsored.
I never heard of it. A free zine. Did you get the latest free zine? A free magazine?
Well, whatever.
I like it. It's a free zine.
That's what it was free.
Yeah.
And was a
and
zine.
It's a magazine. I understand.
So
it now.
that was distributed in the Netherlands to highlight Dutch talents for a year, and then ambitions grow. So we decided to make a book with 100 talents.
100 Dutch talents.
100.
You found 100 Dutch talents?
They don't necessarily need to. Well, you will be surprised or amazed about the amount of photography students that graduate every year. There's definitely more than 100, I think.
Well, it's not because they graduate that they are talents, eh? Let's
no,
be
so
honest.
I mean, but so we also still have a jury process.
Okay, yeah.
So they can send in. We do a jury process. We select 100. That's just the concept. So there are 100. That's
talents.
the book, and but then we actually have another filter. So this book already exists since 2012, and last year we initiated a new filter to really select the photographer of the year. So from the book, we selected then 5 shortlisted plus a winner.
So, okay, we go from 10,000 to 100 to 5 to 1. And who did you bring already shining, smiling, actually?
No, this is this is Johanna. The winner of the Dutch photography award is Anna Zibelnik.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know if she's going to be here later.
No, she's not.
Oh,
She's
okay,
not.
so that was
She refused. There were things she refused to come on. No, it's technically impossible to get her online.
Okay.
But she was very happy with the award.
That was last year that we awarded Anna Zibelnik.
Yeah.
So that's not a Dutch name, and she's also not Dutch by passport, but she studied in the Netherlands, and that's what we count as talent. You know, that's what we
Dutch
want to
talent.
represent, the people coming from our soil.
Yeah.
And and then last year we made another book, so Dutch talent and GUP magazine continue, make another book, and that it's Fresh Eyes. And Fresh Eyes is the European version of the Dutch talent
so
book.
just for the viewer, because they are lost now.
Yeah.
So first of all, they make a magazine, then they make a book, and then they make also freezine, doesn't matter. They make a book. The book is 100 people, one talent gets awarded, and then they made another thing for international talent, and there comes Johanna, putting on her glasses because she's ready to say something. Johanna, so you got selected as an international talent. How was that? Do you got an email or just a dove flying in with the message that you got selected? How did it go?
Hi from Brussels, first of all. Thanks so much for having me. It felt great. I think what was nice with Fresh Eyes is working together on the actual book with the team of the Fresh Eyes. And there has been a series of exhibitions or opportunities which obviously have moved into a digital format at the moment that the talents can participate. So it's about this network aspect of bringing people from all around the world in the artistic discipline together as well.
Okay, and so I understand the bringing people together because that's always good, you know, and showcasing your work. What else did it bring you that you were selected? Does it bring money and fame, or does it bring international recognition, or is it just a personal thing that you're happy with yourself and your parents are proud?
Mm-hmm. My parents are proud. I'm happy with myself, and I'm happy to be here because I was invited as a Fresh Eyes talent by Eric to be part of BredaPhoto, that I'm not actually exposing work. So I think it's about this type of opportunities that have come along the way, and they're actually building up in the process of me also showing work in other places. It's just one more thing in this whole process that generates dialogue around the work. So for me, it has been a really good opportunity.
I imagine. And what do we see here from your work? Can you give us a little bit of background?
So you see my project, my long-term photographic research, The Truth is in the Soil, that I've been actually realizing for the last 4 years after the death of my father, is a work that looks into the journey through memory and memory loss, as the two subjects are interconnected when one goes through the grieving process. And I've started with this personal story of loss of me going back to my homeland, Greece, after a decade, and realizing this body of work around memory loss and fiction. And later on, opening up the question of how a culture deals with this aspect of death by actually focusing on the last communities of professional mourners in the south of Greece, on the Mani Peninsula. So the whole work is looking into this idea of grieving being an open-ended cultural enigma with both subjective and objective interpretations. In this selection of images, I'm working with what had been initially documented as real in the portraiture of these professional mourners, but then reworking with printmaking processes and techniques in terms of reassembling their figures, and really working around this idea of how both death and photography perform their work by arresting time and disordering memory. So this idea of retelling a story, the way obviously it has been experienced from my personal process of grieving, which is ongoing, but also opening up to my own culture and really looking inwards, but also looking kind of back into the past, and the idea of Greek tragedy as an imaginative model of traversing the notions of life and death.
Yes.
It's
okay. I have to stop you there. First of all, wow. This explanation was, I thought like, oh my God, if she can tell about her work like that, and her work is great as well, then I see a bright future for you, writing books and having your pictures in them. But just a short question, professional mourners, what do you mean by them? Is it like people who come and mourn for, can you explain it to me? Because my imagination's going wild, and that's not always a good thing.
That's a good thing, because actually the whole work is about this idea between what we see as a legend and the fine line between kind of fantasy and reality. So professional mourning and grieving, I mean, it's part of different cultures, but in Greek culture, within Greek culture, links back to ancient Greek tragedies and traditions around death. So it's the idea of funeral rituals that these women perform, and they orally improvise. So there's an idea, it's in the crossroads of performance and kind of staged emotions above the open coffin of a dead person. So it links back to ancient times, the way the body was handled, and kind of the whole idea of a ceremonial process around death.
Yeah.
And the community in Mani is the last women who are actually, as this tradition hasn't been passed on to the new generations of women of my age, the daughters and granddaughters, is to a certain extent the disappearance of a tradition around death.
I understand.
So it's the death of a culture.
So now this is the last, it's actually the last generation of professional mourners, and the young generation doesn't take it over. So it's the, you know, we have to mourn about the professional mourners disappearing. I think it's a beautiful thing, actually. I think we have to reinvent professional mourning, since people are so bad at mourning, especially, for example, in the West here. We sort of don't know how to grieve. We sort of push it away. So I think it's very important. We could talk about this all night long, but we don't have the time. Erik, I saw that you also wanted to add something. If you can please come back to your square. But Joanna, thank you so much. Applause for Joanna. Damn. She knows how to talk, Erik.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what I wanted to add. Like, when these, like, people like Johanna, like, they are the filter from the filter. And it's not that necessarily we just discovered her exclusively. Like, Johanna, her work has been seen now already widely, at least in Europe. And also that's how we met through a portfolio review in Morocco last year. So we
don't share all the details.
No, I will not share all the details. Yes. But just to say that it's not just our platform that elevates their career. They do that all themselves, and they need to be smart and know how to translate the concept into visual.
Eloquent. She's amazing. It's amazing. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for GUP, Erik. Thank you. Woo! The young generation, there's the hope, there's the hope. Okay, who of the audience would like a professional mourner at their funeral? All of them, great. So, I promised you a world tour when we're talking about artists. Let's go to Czech Republic, to Prague, where the USA-born artist Alexander Rosa is sitting. Alexander, are you there? So, we're going to talk with Alexander, if he's there, in Prague. You know, at the moment in Czechia, they have the most amount of COVID-19 people. So who knows? Alexander could be there, but maybe he's gone already. We never know. I mean, for a walk outside, eh? Jesus. Alexander, are you there?
Hi.
Hey, Alexander, how are you?
Hanging in.
Hanging in there. Yeah, it's not easy in Prague. There's a total lockdown.
Yeah, I mean, we had a pretty good spring because we were like one of the first countries in Europe to set a good example for containing it. But that all went backwards now.
I'm so sorry. You probably got it from us. Okay. So, Alexander, before we look at your work, again, for you, the same treat. We took your work, we put it in a little film, and you get some live music under it. And we always find the right artist with the right photographer. So, now we have for you, specially, Arno Krijger, which in Dutch, in English means warrior. So, Arno Warrior. And he's going to play on the Hammond organ. Right, Arno? He's ready for it, so we're going to look at your work and then talk about it. Arno, all yours. Arno Krijger, ja.
Wonderful.
You liked it, Alexander?
Yeah, the title is quite fitting.
It is, it is. Can you please enlighten us a little bit in what did we just see?
What you're seeing is these are concrete plates that I made in the studio using archival footage from like the early 50s, the late 70s of the Run It Dome, you know, the whole nuclear testing going on there. And this is the result of it, yeah.
Okay, you took those images, then you put it on concrete, but I saw here we can see them, but I saw many different kind of pictures. You know, sometimes so people, I saw nuclear waste elements. Can you please tell us what is that you want to tell us? I mean, apart from that, it looks amazing and it sort of.
Yeah, I don't want to like go through the whole history because that would be a long lesson, but basically it started as a research project about the problems with nuclear energy and nuclear waste. And in my research, I found out about this dome, this nuclear waste site in Marshall Islands. And it shocked me so much that I just had to dig deeper. And so I did some kind of like, I would call it visual archaeology of, you know, like the boys with the radiation burns from Castle Bravo, or here you see just an atoll that looks very pristine, but the radioactivity in there is invisible. And these images tell the story of these events that happened that, like, I feel like is not really on the surface. It's kind of been swept under the rug. And what I want to do with this project is also make the connection to the current events in the Marshall Islands regarding the climate change crisis that they have there.
Yeah, because first of all, I've never heard of it. And so I was shocked to hear that there is the whole thing on the Marshall Islands. Second of all, the way you made it, it looks like sort of toxic waste showing images, right? It doesn't look at images, it looks like the toxic waste sort of reveals the images. And then we have the contemporary climate change. Would you call yourself then, is it an activist project?
It was some kind of like impulse. I would say, yeah, definitely activism is there's an element there, but I did it from a distance. I mean, if I went to the Marshall Islands, I probably would have, if I had that opportunity, I would probably do the project a little differently. But I work in school across from the U.S. Embassy, so I see them every single day, and you know, there's just this tension I felt between the knowledge I had of this event and then like being an American, I felt like I had to say something about it.
I can imagine, especially being an American these days, you have to say many things or don't, right? It's so toxic on different levels. How is that for you as an American being in Prague, or being an artist and working across from the embassy? How is that?
Oh, it's wonderful. I get a lot of inspiration from them.
I can imagine fighting the good cause. It really looks beautiful. Also for the people who haven't seen it live, you know, already on image you can sort of touch and feel the substance of the plates of concrete that you made. I think it's a beautiful work. Because of time we have to continue, but I want to congratulate you and keep it up there in Prague. You know, don't go crazy. There's always light at the end of the tunnel. Right?
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Good, I like it. The audience is on, I like it. Okay, we talk with artists, we have new talents, we also look back. Now I want to show you a clip of the best online moments from past 7 weeks. Let's look at the clip.
Welcome, everyone, to the
artist talk show
of BredaPhoto.
In the heart of Breda.
Thank you for joining us today.
Oh, that's right, yes. Let's all clap.
And I'm so happy to be a part of this photo festival. I just wish I could be there in person to see it myself.
And so we thought, well, computer coding, it really is about what photography is now. Photography is coding.
It's news that there are many people in the world who cannot love the way they want to love, and then there are many people who cannot be themselves the way they should be.
That is beautiful, and that diversity is something we need.
We also need to look critically at this history and what it left that was bad, and how people to this day are struggling with that.
The people I photographed couldn't get out of the anonymities.
I don't think I could ask for a better response to a piece of work. This is the, you know, like in mathematics, minus and minus give plus.
So I decided to
try to capture a certain feeling of the ice melting coming towards you, a threatening feeling.
You can take which part you want from the masculinity and the femininity to create your own representation of your gender.
I want to tell the world that diversity is within everybody.
That distance between the real China and the China that is, imagined through different countries. And in the exhibition, we were able to, to play with these ideas of the real China.
He went away by also losing a lot of pre-assumptions he had himself about all the other people, and also the other way around.
How to make work about climate change that is not too preachy and that doesn't have this big message written all over it, so that people say, yeah,
Exactly.
right.
Having an important story to tell can make impact if they find the right distribution channels to bring their stories into the world. And sometimes you have to do that all yourself.
The personal becomes the global. So I mean, this sounds very hippie, and I apologize for this, but you live the life that you want other people to live. It's like you say things that you want to hear from other people. Just don't be an asshole.
So the final takeaway is the quote of the day. Ladies and gentlemen, don't be an asshole. And that brings us to the end of another edition of Artist Talk. Let's a little round for my guests.
Don't be an asshole. Yeah. We applaud that don't be an asshole. What you see is this edition, more than any other, was so much about impact, diversity from all over the world. And with the online talks, you could see it. You could see it so clearly that from everywhere in the world, people participate, That's what I really like about this online level. Let's go to Morocco. Mohammed, I'm so glad that you're here. Here it says Russian-born Mohammed Kilito. Is it true that you're born in Russia?
Yes, absolutely. So my parents, during the Cold War, a lot of Africans used to get scholarships from the Soviet Union. So my both parents are Moroccan, but they studied dentistry in Soviet Union. So I was conceived and born there.
Wow. And where are you now at this moment? Because we're doing a tour around the world and the audience wants to know where we are at this moment.
I am in Rabat, Morocco.
In Morocco. First of all, hi. And second
Hello.
of all, you made amazing pictures that, first of all, shine a completely different light on Morocco. Before we look at what you made, can you tell the audience a little bit why you did what you did? What was the story behind it?
The story behind it is that one day I was reading a report made by the Social, Economical, and Environmental Council of Morocco, which is a state council, and they have represented very alarming statistics about Moroccan youth. So I decided to investigate on Moroccan youth on different chapters. The first chapter is about personal identity, which is the one I presented in the BredaPhoto Festival. And the idea is to photograph individuals that have all in common the courage to choose their own realities, often pushing the limits of a very conservative society. So through their creative processes, their appearances, their sexual orientation, they confront very harsh realities. And this something can seem very futile sometimes in the Western world, but those people have really, really harsh everyday problems in the streets and the public spaces. For example, in 2013, 14 hard rock musicians were accused of satanism, acts that could shake the faith of Muslims, contempt of the Muslim religion, possession of objects contrary to morality, and some of them did up to 2 years in prison.
Wow.
And then for the LGBT plus community, life is neither easy. So for example, I will state an article, it's the article 489 of the Penal Code of Morocco, and it criminalizes lewd of unnatural acts with an individual of the same sex. So same-sex sexual activity is illegal in Morocco and can be punished with anything from 6 months to 3 years.
Oh, wow.
So this is the reality of many people here. And the idea was to show how those people are trying to live their own identity, often pushing the limits of how conservative and these traditional norms we have here. I think it's very important work that I'm very happy to show at the Breda, but also very happy that it was shown at the National Museum of Photography in Morocco. And because usually we don't want to talk about those things.
No, because I was wondering, first of all, congratulations. The individuals that you found speak for me more than just about LGBTQ plus or about gender, or it's about finding your identity in this world, you know, where there's always brackets and always people put into different corners. But you showed this at BredaPhoto. You know, in Breda, you know, I mean, 90% is having same-sex sex. You know, that is how it is in Breda. But how is it when you show this in Morocco? How do people react? Because you actually are being very open to how people are.
So the question I have been receiving a lot, even showing the work in Morocco or abroad, is that those people don't look Moroccan. So for me, it's quite interesting because this is the first thing I have to talk with them is about stereotypes. And my interest in photography is to get people to think and reconsider their prejudgment. So I see it as a tool that invites to deconstruct, to better reconstruct. And I'm interested in other people and how other people think about other people. So I don't want to tell people that they are wrong or they are right. I just want them to think about the people and stories I present through my work.
Yes.
And this is the first thing, because the Western world sees Morocco as Orientalist, as you know, people are wearing jalaba, their veil and things like that. And then the Occident, and then the people here, they criticize this side of you. So for me, it's to work between all these stereotypes and confront the idea that people have and open their minds to other realities. Morocco is a country that is constructed with different microcosms that are all the time very strange to each other.
Yes.
So it's very important for me to confront these different microcosms of different people, and also to have an idea about something that is different also to the public abroad.
I understand. A Moroccan person is also not one kind or one type, which the West sometimes thinks of. Within Morocco, you have the dialogue of diversity on many different levels, not only about sexuality, but about identity and about individuality. I think it's very beautiful. Last question before we give you the same treat all our artists get, live music with your work. What I really like in the pictures, it's like two parts, right? You have the person, and then you always found somehow, whether it's a piece of cloth or a building or flowers that match that person. Why?
At first, I had only the pictures of the portraits. And then I was always trying to explain that those people are Moroccans and it's in Morocco. So I decided actually to put pictures that show where are those people from. But at the same time, the picture has certain signification that relate to the stories that those people told me. So all the pictures, all the diptychs are usually with a text, a testimony of the people that I photograph that tell the stories, what happened to them, why they are like that, how it's hard for them to get accepted, how they feel they are not understood, while dressing in a certain way in the street, but also from their families.
Yeah.
So those pictures, for example, this picture we are seeing, I have on the left symbols of beauty from the other generation, probably of the parents of this girl I photographed. And her, it's a very uncommon symbol of beauty. In Morocco, we don't see people go like that, dressed in the streets all the time. So for me, it's confronting this combat that is happening between two generations.
Yeah, and what beauty is, you know, and who decides upon beauty. I really like it. So it's a very simple but very complex story of showing the Western world and de-stereotyping that, but also in your own country. And then you made pictures of Moroccan people, don't see it as Moroccan, but you want to show that it's Moroccan. Otherwise, there's no impact, you know, in the whole idea of Moroccan, but you don't want to show the cliches. So I understand. It took you some nights, but you managed, and it looks amazing. So for you, because you did such a great work, Mohammed, we're going to give you music and your images. And the music is again by Arno Krijger, because he's so great. Yes. Mohammed, I see you smiling. Are you a happy person? He is a happy person. We don't hear it, but I saw you. I saw your mouth move, that you're a happy person. I really like the combination. I'm so glad that you added the extra layer to the pictures because it gives so much pleasure to look at them and see how you combined aesthetics and colors. I hope you don't give up doing what you do because it's very important that people are not afraid to be who they want to be. So thank you so much for joining us. Stay for the rest of the show, and thank you, Mohammed.
I will.
Thank you so much.
You
Mohammed. So, you enjoying yourself, audience? Yeah? You still okay? No. We're over halfway. We just want to check in with everybody. Everybody's still alive, not coughing. You're doing very well there in the back. Okay, so we are going to look back one more time. And I'm saying because most of the people here are part of the 148 volunteers of this festival. You know, there are a few people who get paid to work in this festival. And then you have a lot of volunteers, you know, ranging from 7 years old to, I think, 750 is the oldest person that is working here, sitting over there somewhere. So, and they're working their asses off, especially, you can see already some pictures. It's been building, it's doing the online talks, it's helping, being hospitality, and especially in these Corona times, which was not easy, because they had to change their ways every day. And we are talking about people from the province of Brabant who have to be flexible and change their ways every day, which is not easy, but they did. So please, a big applause for all our volunteers. Thank you so much. Really, it's very important. And then, of course, we got some press. We got a lot of press, actually. National, local, international. And you're going to see some quotes behind me. And what I really, really like about the press is sometimes they say it's a success because there's a lot of people, or it looks great, or whatever. Now, most of the press was about, it's about impact and how much power the festival has. The artists, as you can see today as well, how much influence and energy they give, talking about the world, uncovering those stories who try to be covered, but also showing the beauty and the ugly of the world and trying to tell a story. So I'm really, really glad, and also compliments for the organization, that the press saw that it's not just entertainment, but it's telling a story in this world. So congrats for everybody. Just one more applause. Yes. I told you we're going on a world tour. We ended in Morocco. We're now going to Hong Kong. A direct flight to Kurt Tong. They're gonna, are we still having quotes from the press? We don't exaggerate it, guys. Just, okay. So, Kurt, are you there in Hong Kong? Hey.
I am. How are you?
Good. How are you? How is it in Hong Kong? Because we're just talking to people in Prague and they have a total lockdown. In Morocco, they never heard of Corona. How is it in Hong Kong?
We've just had a third wave, but it's pretty much over now. So, and people very good at wearing masks here. So, life is going on. It's not too bad.
Yeah, you already finished your third wave. We are starting our second wave here. Jesus.
That's right, yeah.
Okay, okay. So we know that a third wave is coming. Well, if they still look as happy as you do after the third wave, I'm not that afraid anymore.
I hope so too.
Hey, before we're going to talk about your beautiful work, right? Especially the nanny. First, we're going to show the audience here and the people online, we're going to show them your work with some live music. And for you, we've thought long, how can we help Kurt? Because he doesn't need help, but sort of give him a present. So we invited a professional singer for you. How cool is that? Yeah, right. He's happy with that. Rianne Wilbers is standing here already, and she's going to sing while we look at the work of Kurt Tong.
Oh Do you have any regrets in life? No. I regret not being able to read or write. I never regret of not being married or having a family.
Rianne Wilbers, thank you so much. Wow, Rianne. Kurt, what did you think? Rianne Wilbers, especially for you. What do you think?
That was amazing. It's very poignant. It's beautiful.
I even saw a little bit of emotion there, because what did we see? What did we just witness? These beautiful pictures. What is it about? Tell me.
So in short, the project, it's a love note to my nanny. She looked after me basically from the day I came out of the hospital up until the day she passed away. She was working with my family. And because I never knew my grandmother, so she was very much the only grandmother that I knew. But it's also what's unique about her. She belonged to this tribe of women. They were basically early Chinese feminists who took a chastity vow, and you can see she was dressed in a very specific way. So these women decided they can do this, and then they could have no more obligation to the parents, and they can leave the family, they can avoid arranged marriages. So they're very much the pioneers of kind of Chinese feminists, but she just happened to be my nanny as well. So
wow.
The work was very much a love note to her.
Love notes are always good, especially to people that not often get love notes. We even have a clip about your nanny. Maybe let's see the clip that people get an image of this beautiful feminist.
She's so small and I'm quite a large person. By the time I was born, Ante became my nanny, and she's kind of like my third grandmother, the secondary kind of family member. She was definitely the main caregiver when I was small. If something's happened that I'm really upset, quite often I would kind of go to her room to find comfort, to go for a hug. My name's Kurt Tong. I was born in Hong Kong in 1977. And her full name is Mak Lan Yok. She thinks she's born in 1929, and she's one of the youngest self-corn women left in the world. Very much the last generation of self-corn women. When she told me the story, I really wanted to turn that into an artwork. She came to Hong Kong when she was 21, and she ended up staying with the first family for 13 years. And she ended up working with us for 37 years. My parents had 4 children, and I'm the 4th one. I was the only baby that she looked after, so maybe there was like a special...
Oh, and we stop. Yes, because otherwise we show too much, Kurt, and you have nothing to say. We meant to do this. Okay, so you had a nanny for 37 years? For real? She took care for you for 37 years?
Not quite. She looked after me when I was a baby, but she became such part of the family. She stayed on, and she ended up looking after my parents' cats for many years.
Okay, so first for you, then for the cats. I understand.
Yes.
And was she also in the family pictures when you took a family photo? Is then the nanny in the picture or not?
Yeah, so very much at least the work that is being shown in Breda, it shows her always being on the edge. So I wanted to use them to kind of show how she was always with us, but she was never in the family.
Yeah, I understand. And tell me a little bit, because you said one of the first feminists and you were talking, but we wanted to show this so that people have an image. Tell me again, the first feminists, they chose not to get married and have children and be in this, let's say, traditional, you have to do this trajectory, but she chose to get out of it and then be a nanny. Isn't that just sort of contradictory, that you sort of take your freedom but then go work in a family for 37 years after all?
Yeah, that's a great question. Because a lot of them, they were illiterate girls, and it was the only way out of an arranged marriage. So after they do this and they leave China, the only work they could find were, a lot of them became construction workers, mainly in Singapore, and in Southeast Asia and Hong Kong, they were domestic workers. Yeah, in terms of kind of how long she worked for, many of them, I guess they didn't stay for that long, but we got very lucky with her. So we got on and she stayed with us for that long.
And you had needy cats, apparently, so they need a nanny. I understand. Construction workers, that's also very interesting, that you go then and build cities instead of getting an arranged marriage. I think it's beautiful that it's an ode to people that don't get often on the forefront, and an ode to the early feminists at the same time. What's the next project, Kurt? Because you're in Hong Kong. What just happened? Just ended the third wave. The nanny is now got a love letter. Is the next one love letter to the cats, or what is the next step?
Yeah, and I think my families are pretty sick of me rating the family albums. So originally I was supposed to work on a project on the Krampus in Austria, but the COVID-19 has put a pause to that. So currently I'm working on, it's also a personal story, but it's not family members. It's this one's inspired by a box of letters and photographs that I found. And it's basically a really tragic love story that happened in China during the Second World War and the Chinese Civil War.
Ooh, okay.
But it gets very dark. It's a lot about forced migration, superstition, and the climax with a ghost marriage.
Whoa, okay. So it's also going to be a movie in a few years then.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us. We have to continue, but I'm really glad that you're there, that you're still there and going to continue to be there and around. In the name of BredaPhoto, thank you so much for joining us. Give him a hand. Kurt Tong, ladies and gentlemen. Shake. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, woof, that's a world trip, eh? So many countries. We are also going to the States later on, but first, young talent. The BredaPhoto Festival, every 2 years, because they are biennial, but every 2 years, they give away for 3 people a custom-made trajectory that is called the BredaPhoto International Talent Program. And it's 2 years, and it's helping you with many different things. So it's not just that they help you with your budget, or it's not only that they show your pictures everywhere, it's everything you need as an artist. So they tell you what to eat, where to go, who to sleep with, not to sleep with, you know, which people you have to meet, what kind of photographs you can take, what kind of cameras you can use. So it's an intensive 2-year course. And if you survive it, you're going to be a great talent. That's the whole idea. So the great thing is, with you here present and you watching, we're going to show you all 9 nominees, and then they don't know who wins, and 3 of them will win, and 6 of them won't win. So it's a little bit of drama in this final show, but the fact that they are nominated already makes them winners, right? I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We already have, Kurt is slipping into our nominees. That bastard, you know. He's not one of the nominees. No, Kurt, you're not one of the nominees. So we have to remove you from our screen. So we are now getting all 9 nominees on the screen. That takes a while because you have to, you know, call them and get them from a country and then put them in there with a mouse click. But the great thing is that with a mouse click, the great thing is that we don't know yet who will win. I also don't know it. So what they decided is that first we're going to see the clip of the nominees, then a drone will come, they told me, from somewhere. I have no idea how. We are inside the building to give us the envelope with the winners. I'm very, very scared for this moment. We have all 9 of them. Yes, I see them looking. Hi, nominees. Can you wave, please? All 9 of you? Yes. Some of them looking happy, some of them more anxious. Okay, so great. And they are from everywhere. As you can see on the names, they are from everywhere. So, dear 9 nominees, first of all, congratulations with the fact that you're nominated. I just want to make one thing clear. The fact that you're already on the screen and nominated makes you a winner. Yeah? So I don't want to see any tears afterwards or emails, angry emails like, why is she or he and not me, you know? It's completely anonymous, and the jury was completely objective, yeah? So the fact that you're here already, you can put in your diary, yes, mother and father, I made it, yeah? I am someone. Okay, focus on that. Okay, so great. What we're going to do now is you will get an applause from the audience because you made it to the nomination. 1, 2, 3, applause for the nominees. I like how some of them are really smiling and other ones already know how to smile fake, as you can see. Okay, so what we're going to do now, dear audience, on and offline, we're going to show you a clip from all 9 nominees, so you get to learn, get to meet them. It's 3.5 minutes, so please take your time because it's 9 people and they all deserve some attention, right? Let's see the clip.
Hi, my name is Eva.
The main subject of my work has always been concentrated around the themes of migration and identity. I want to catch the spirit of the street without judging, like capture this moment because a lot of things are changing here right now.
As well as photographing her surroundings, my mother also takes pictures of the TV screen, particularly BBC World and BBC News. I will rearrange these photos into a fictional story of an impending apocalypse, using real news photos to create a fictional story, hereby underlining the questionability of images as fact.
Currently, I've started to work with the physical archive itself as an object, using my studio space as a canvas to experiment with my sculptures and installations. And I organize my collections to create new narratives while thinking about the way we store our images, what is worth keeping and what do we protect.
All these photos have been developed with seaweed. The nice thing about working like this is that each plant leaves its own character on film. This is maybe obvious, but I want to keep on researching for more organic materials to develop with.
The location of my work is the Chinese market in Budapest, which became the center of the Hungarian Chinese community as well. Locals always have second thoughts about the market because in the media it is often connected to illegal imports or raids, but on the other hand, it is a good access to cheaper products.
What I enjoy the most in photography is in-depth and long-term projects. I would describe myself as a documentary photographer who has a passion for creating unconventional visual approaches for topics which are not so visible in everyday life.
A central question in my work of practice is what it means to be a human. I see my work as images that reference a certain recognizability, but altogether that form a new world.
If you grow up with social media, it's difficult to see what is still real. As a photographer, I would like to show you different situations of girlhood in daily life and give you other perspectives.
As a new project, I want to do an investigation about the Minamata disease, which was first discovered in Japan in 1956. I want to find a way to effectively help the victims. Can photography be used to make a political statement and force the government or a multinational corporation to take action? These are the questions I want to ask myself.
Okay, so now we're gonna, oh my God, there is a drone coming over the audience. Okay, watch out. We're gonna know who are the 3 nominees. They all 9 have a plan. Yeah, come over, come over. All 9 of them have a plan that they want to do. Only 3 can actually execute it. I just want to make sure this goes right. Thank you, thank you. Okay, thank you, Mr. Drone. Bye, 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 bye. Please go, yes, applause for the drone. Watch out, don't hurt anyone. Modern times. And it's gone. Yes, very good, very good. 2 people got hit, that's all. Okay, so the 3 people that won the international program support of the BredaPhoto are Eva Kreuger, Alexandra Polina, and Sarah Hornig. Give them an applause. Woo! Yay! Yay! So, and as it happens to be, you're the only 3 that are still online. So how amazing is that? Alexandra, let's start with you. You're smiling from ear to ear. How happy are you?
I'm very happy. I didn't expect that, actually, and now I'm like double happy, you know.
You're double happy. Oh, I really like that.
Yeah.
Double happy people. And what is it that you're going to do? Because we've got 9 proposals. Tell us a little bit about your proposal. What is that you're going to do now with all the help you're going to get?
I'm going to photograph the street where I'm living in right now. And this is a quite controversial street. And I'm looking for different approaches. And I'm interested in themes of migration and also in stereotypes. That's why I really loved the talk with Mohammed we had before, because this is such an important impact for me as well in photography. So I feel really connected to that. And this is also my theme, yeah.
Yes, and Alexander, the great thing is the people of BredaPhoto know Mohammed, like personally, you know. So they will bring you, if you want that, they bring you in contact with Mohammed and he can also help you. That's the great thing about this program. Everything you need, Mohammed will give to you. Okay, very good. Eva, hey, congratulations. How happy are you? Alexander was double happy. Can you top that, or are you just like 1.5 happy?
Yeah, I think also double happy, yeah.
Yeah, and tell us, what are you going to do? Because I saw this beautiful art that you make, and then pictures of art and pictures, and the art becomes pictures and pictures become art again. Tell us.
Yes. Well, I'm working on a sort of a studio research project. So I use found footage images, and I work on installations in my studio, and I would like to further develop that.
I understand. So what you actually do is you make contemporary art by photographing the contemporary art you already made, and because the way you present it becomes new sculptures in a way.
Yeah.
Cool. I like it. I understand it, I think, but I really like it. Yeah. And it's COVID-proof because you can do it in your studio.
Exactly.
Smart. Look, smart thinking. Congratulations. I'm very curious to see the end result. And then we have Sarah. Hey, Sarah. Still eating something. I don't know what, but how are you? You have to unmute yourself, Sarah. It's a unmute yourself. Yeah, and the unmute button. Yeah, there we go.
Hello. Sorry. Yeah, I'm having chewing gum. So
chewing gum. I understand.
I'm really happy. I'm triple happy. I didn't expect it either. Actually, I spent the whole weekend at my boyfriend's grandma's place. Maybe you can see the stylist.
We see, I thought it was your own space, but now I understand it's your boyfriend's grandma's space. You don't go to your boyfriend, you immediately go to the grandma of your boyfriend. I understand. Boyfriend is still at home, you don't care. So tell us, what is the project going to be that you do, that you're going to make?
Yeah, I'm working as my daily job with school dropouts, with teenagers. And I'm planning to do a visual essay about that. But the visual approach, I don't know yet, so I hope to get help with that from your team.
You will. First of all, it's a 2-year program, so you can take all the time you want. And second of all, they will help you with everything, But I really like it. The school dropouts that you work with, what is the main reason people drop out?
Well, maybe, yeah, there is no one reason, and that makes it really, really interesting. So, yeah, everyone is different. Some have a lot of reasons and some have fewer. So.
And is it growing, the amount of people that drop out? Is it a growing number?
In Finland, I would say yes, it looks like that.
Okay, because I think it's a very interesting topic. Migration, I understand, and art of the art, I understand, but also the fact that you work with just a very specific group of people that just say, I'm going to quit school in a time where we have to upskill and reskill and constantly learn is very interesting, I think also important. So very well done. People also from all over Europe, all 3 of you. Congratulations. We have to move on here. Just now tell everybody, maybe also your boyfriend, Sarah. I don't know if you ever see him again, but tell him that you won. Tell him that you won. Alexandra and Eva also, congratulations. You get a big applause from our audience. Yes. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So that brings us almost to the end of this final show. We go on our tour, I promised you, one more time around the world. We go to San Francisco, where everything's go right, because now they have to take out the people that won, they take out the Zoom, and then they have to let Luis Cobello in. So I will stall a little bit time by talking about my personal life. So when I was 5 years old, no, that's not true. Luis Cobello, for the people who've been to the festival or saw one of the talk shows, his video clip, Zurumbatico, was always on. People dreaming of that song, Zurumbatico, and it was a whole song. So we're gonna ask him, of course, what that is about, but first I want to ask him about his artwork, because he made a beautiful installation. Luis, are you there? They're still looking for Luis on the Zoom. This is one of his pieces, for example. It's about Venezuela. It's amazing. Zurumbatico. And now behind the scenes, there's one person getting really stressed because they can't find Luis Cobello anymore in the list. So, and there he is. Luis, hey. Your sound is still off. I'm just saying you, so you have to unmute yourself. In San Francisco, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
Wow, you have a more shiny microphone than I have. Damn it!
Yeah.
Luis, before we talk about Zurumbatico and everything, please, at the KPN building during the festival, you had this beautiful wall full of your work. Tell the people who weren't there, what is it about?
Well, Zurumbatico is a state of mind. It's a word that I found in the 100 Solitude book, which is inspired this book, Zurumbatico. It's where Gabriel Garcia Marquez born,
yes,
the Colombian writer, and wrote. He born there. So I went to this place and I enter in this dimension. I call it like a dimension, Zurumbatico dimension, where everything is possible. I mean, one of the things that shows my project is like even in the tragic things, we have time to enjoy, to dance or things like that. I mean, in the Caribbean, I am from Venezuela, but in this place in Colombia is very similar to us. In the Caribbean, we are capable in some ways to go to the tragic things, to the joy in maybe 1 hour or maybe 5 minutes. I mean, Zurumbatico defined a lot about this, and even if it's an inspiration of 100 Solitude, I made my own project, I made my own interpretation of the thing.
Yeah.
But I explained very well in my statement. I wanted to read it. It's something like Zurumbatico is a tunnel of feelings, sensations, impressions, and special events, in which I enter and I live as I wish. Immersed in this dimension, I understood and reconfirmed that the unusual, the everyday, the comic, even the tragic, has no explanation. Neither ask nor so, is what it is. Well, this is defined mostly of the project.
I understand. So what I really like is that you say you find the humor and the energy and sometimes also it's not escapism, it's almost like understanding the tragic by taking the light side of it, right? It's like what Shakespeare did. In every tragedy, there was a lot of humor, and in every comedy he wrote, there was a lot of tragedy.
Yes, I mean, I think the Caribbean is like that. We live in that some kind of happiness, and then suddenly drama, and then violence, and then again drama, and then happiness. I tried to do that with the book and with the exhibition. This is the book. I mean, I was reading that in the book.
Yes.
Yes, I think I made like something very close to the feelings like we have here in the Caribbean. Here now, because I'm in San Francisco, but there in the Caribbean.
Not in San Francisco. They still have to learn about that there probably, but yeah. I really like in the Caribbean because it's not an easy time for the Caribbean as well, and for Venezuela, it's not an easy time. So we have to have a little bit of Zurumbatico. Then I was also promised that you were going to do a performance or something.
Me?
You? Whoa, you? Yes.
No, well, I don't have. Wait a second.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt this interview with a moment of reflection. Let's think about life, right? What is life, actually? You know, when I was 5 years old, I told my parents.
What are you talking about? I mean, is what?
Wow, way better.
Maybe, I don't know. I just I didn't have something like prepared. I don't know what you were expecting from me. But I would like to hear some music there.
Yeah,
I mean,
please.
I saw that all another artists have like music from for the.
They got live music, yeah. They got live music, and we did not arrange live music for you because In my card, it says, he will do a performance. Shakespeare of the Caribbean. So, Luis Cobello, please hit it off. You know, and if you don't want to do it, it's also fine. I don't want to force you, but it says on my card, performance.
Well, I can say something. Surumbático, surumbático, surumbati, bati, 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 bático. Viene así de colores, viene surú. What a season.
So it was a Wednesday. I was 5 years old, and my parents, I remember, was naked for some reason, sitting in the garden, sipping tea. My father never drank tea, so I knew it was a strange day. There he is. Oh, wow. How many shirts does a man have? Yeah.
What is what is for you, for example, you being there from Europe, and then what is different for you of someone like you with people of the Caribbean? Do you hear me?
I hear you. I hear you many times at the same time because your microphone is echoing. So I am in Europe, that's true, and you're in San Francisco. So what is that you want to do?
So, what is the difference? What is the difference?
What the difference is between
you and a Caribbean person, as you on this?
What the difference is, except from geographics?
So I will let me just, because this is giving a lot of echo. No, I wanted to know what is different to you as a European person between you. What is the difference between you and a Caribbean person for you?
Okay, what I think the difference is, I don't see any difference except from the fact that we are born in different places and that they had more sun than we have. I think that's important, sun. And that somehow in the west of Europe at this moment, people are becoming more conservative and afraid than ever. And I don't know how it is in the Caribbean.
Okay, are you prepared for a step?
Do I prepare for a step?
For some steps.
Yes,
okay.
I'm always prepared for steps.
First, your arms. Arms?
Yeah.
Okay, surumbático, surumbático, surumbati, bati, 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 batico, surumbático. Come on,
Sumbático. I'm going crazy over here. Sumbático, sumbático. So you're doing. This is very smart. You're making me perform now, Luis Coelho.
Bueno, viene surumbático como lelo, viene así.
Love it. An applause for Luis, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. I think he's going to change his shirt again. I think while he's doing that, Fleur van Muiswinkel, also known as Flower of the Mouse Shop, she is the head of the festival. Please come over. Luis is still talking, but please come over. Luis, I like the way that you have shirts all over the place. Actually, wow. More than a Beyonce concert, you're changing your shirt. Love it, love it. We have to say goodbye now because we have no more shirts left, and I have to call on Fleur. But I thank you so much for joining the festival, for giving energy every time we heard your song, and again as well. I think it's very important in tragic times that you see the lightness and the humor, so that you go even deeper than that. Please give him applause, Luis Cobello, ladies and gentlemen. Woo, woo. Fleur, use the applause and come here.
Hi.
How is it?
Good.
Yeah, 7 weeks of festival, your first festival as the artistic director. Yeah. How was it to walk around and change the world constantly in 7 weeks?
Well, we changed indeed a lot of times, but it was amazing how we were able to adjust to each new arrangement that we had to make. The photographers could just stick to their plan and show their work, whatever they did and how they wanted, but the team and all the volunteers, they had to rearrange every time again, and they did very well. Thank you very much.
I like how you're already in the Zumbatico
Yeah, sorry.
energy. No, don't say sorry to Zumbatico, just go for it. And then you were also going to announce to the audience the date in 2 years when we are starting again, probably in different times, hopefully, BredaPhoto 2022. When will it be? So all the volunteers know when to be ready, you know? When?
Yeah, so we're heading towards our 10th edition, which is really great. And we're going to open up on the 8th of September, 2022. BredaPhoto will be back.
Yay! BredaPhoto 2022. What is it? What do you hope you can add in 2 years? Because it's already great, of course. What is the next thing you want to add in 2 years when we're going to open the 8th of September?
Good question. Maybe even more international participation and that everybody can be actually present in Breda.
I hope.
Because this year that was impossible, and I hope next year everybody, or next edition, everybody will be present.
In 2 years. It's 2022 here. Okay.
2022.
In 2 years, she's going to work on it. The 8th of September 2022, in 2 years, we're going to fly everybody in, and we're going to have one big party. And you're going to do great. Give her an applause, Fleur van Meuswinkel. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. 2 more things, and then we are done. First, we made a final video, a sort of after movie. You know, we made a beautiful after movie. We want to show that, and then we're going to say goodbye. So also for the people that are still on Zoom, let's watch the after movie and then say goodbye.
Turumbático. Allá viene un muchacho como loco, allá viene por la quebrada con su palito de ron. Allá, rosudito rojito viene, cámara lenta del timbo al tambo. Del timbo al tambo. Allá. Rápalo. Allá viene un viejito por la orilla, allá viene tremenda rumba de rapacanilla, con los patitos como culebras siempre palanqueando, vacilando con calores, viene como quemando, disimulando los dolores, viene así de colores, viene su... ¿Dónde? En el barco, que vienen los extraterrestres. Ay, Dios mío, que me lleven. ¿En serio? Ah, bueno, ¿me pueden llevar? Ok. Bueno, chao.
Yes, applause for everybody. Yes. Yes, I also want to thank all our people on Zoom. Still a few many are there. You're all winners. You're all great. Please keep up the good work. Please keep making art in any circumstance, because we have to make sure that we tell those beautiful stories, that we wake up people every day again. So one last time for everybody who worked behind the scenes, for our artists and for the volunteers, one great final applause, please. Woo, 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 woo. Ladies and gentlemen, this was BredaPhoto 2020. We see you in 2 years. We just heard the 8th of September 2022. Thank you for watching, and see you. Please take care of yourself and the people you love. Thank you so much.
Turumbático.